Okay, so the tool is classroomscreen.com. So when you type in classroomscreen.com on your browser, you're going to be directed to this page. This is your own page. Okay, now the next thing you need to concern yourself with is to come down where you have two options there. You have one on blue background and the other white background. So you have the launch now, and then you have the sign up free. Okay, so you could choose any of them, but for the purpose of this video and this tutorial, I want us to look at launch now. So you click on launch now. So when you click on launch now, it's going to take you directly to your workspace. Okay, now don't forget that this is an alternative to a smart board. Okay, for those that don't use smart boards in their school and they want to have a feel of having a smart board in your class. Okay, this functions as an alternative to that. There are actually so many things you could do using this. So here I am at my workspace. I think I've signed up already. If I didn't sign up, it's supposed to take me to a place where it's supposed to tell me um, to create a workspace, okay, or to create a screen. So this is basically where you're going to be directed to. This is your workspace. This is your smart board, your smart screen. Okay, so on the smart screen here, you have the widgets. Okay, on the top left you have the home that will direct you back to the home screen. You have on the top right you have three buttons there where you go to the settings, the keyboard shortcut, the full screen, help center, and if you want to upgrade, okay, so that you can get access to more tools. But these are the tools you're going to be working with. The widget at the bottom. Now if you click on the arrow just by the right hand side of the widget, you get the widget box to get closed so you can have more spaces to work with. And if you come to the um, the bottom right, you see a plus sign, which simply means you can expand your screen. So let's say you've exhausted one of the screens, you could create another one and create another one. Okay, it's very interesting. Like I said, it functions just like your smart board. Okay, so let's go to the first one that I created. So if this space is filled up with all the information that I want, I could just come back here and then go to the next and go to the next page. So we're going to the first page that was created. Now let's open the widget. Now if you click on the more widget, you see more tools that you can work with right here. More tools you can work with. So we're going to be looking at each of these one after the other. So let's look at the first on the background. Now let's assume you don't like the background that you can see right now. It's a beach. Okay, let's assume you don't like that. Yeah, I like to choose my screen based on my feeling at that point, or even tell my students to choose the screen. Okay, so you click on the background and you have preloaded pictures already of nature. I love nature. And if you are not too okay with that, you have colors and gradient. Don't really like the gradient. So if you do not like any of the pre-loaded backgrounds, you could come here to upload backgrounds. But to me, I feel what's the stress? So I could just go ahead and choose any of this. So immediately you click on them, you see that it changed instantly. So this is beautiful. I saw one shows Rome or Athens. This is another one, beautiful, beautiful. And so another one, ancient. This is another beautiful one, very beautiful. Okay, so for the course of this tutorial, I just want to pick this. Or at the beach, I feel like going to the pool. I feel like visiting the pool right now. So that is that. Okay, so the next one we'll be looking at is the pool. Now when you click on the pool, you have this. Now any of the tool or the widget, all right, that you open, you see the close, the exporting, which means you close. Okay, let's go back and open that up. You see this button, which means you have access to the settings. Okay, I'm still gonna come back to that. And then you have this button. All right, if you click on spotlight, it becomes the only center, and you can of course close that. Now the spotlight simply means that every activities focused on that particular widget or that tool that you've opened. And then with this arrow here, you could expand or reduce it. So let's look at this multiple choice. Let's assume that you want to maybe just do a very quick quiz in class. So when you click on that, it shows you this. You get to put in your question and put in your options. So I'm going to go with the question. So what do you think of today's lesson? Let me change this to what do you think of this tool for teachers? All right, for teachers. So option A, I'm going to edit this and I'm going to add grade. Option B, I'll add it to good. And option C, I'm going to use indifferent. I'm feeling indifferent about it. So I don't need an option D, so I'm going to just delete that. So one thing you want to do is to come here. Now there are actually ways this could work. If you click on remote settings, it brings this auto vote. Okay, so they could use their smartphones or their laptops to do the voting, but of course I'm not saying you should allow them with their smartphones in class. So you could do buttons on screen. Okay, buttons on screen. So the result, if you want a pie chart, you want a donut, you want a bar chart, you could choose anyone. So let's just choose a bar chart and let's see. So just click outside that, you have this. Okay, so one thing you can make them your student want to do to make it very interactive, okay, is to tell them to come one after the other, then you get to choose. Okay, of course everybody will get to see what they choose. So let's say Tune comes and just clicks on A, you have that voted, and this person comes choose on B, voted. This person comes choose on A, voted. These voted. You can see the progression there in the vote. So that's that about it. So of course you could change that to come to question type. You reset this and then choose a smiley or choose a true or false. So whichever you want to. So just figure out what you can use that for. Now the random name, I love this so much. Now you could drag your widget or your tool to any point of the screen. So this is the random name. So I'm going to click on open setting. All right, here I have type one name per line. So what this does is that it helps you to choose names randomly. So let's assume you want to give tags to your student, and you want to use a smart board now or the smart screen to choose the name. So what you need to do is just insert the name of your student into this box right here. So I'm going to be using a capital letter. So let's say we have Tade. All right, make sure you have one name on each line. Tade, we have Tunde, we have Bola, we have Rayo, we have Lucius, we have Ethan, we have Janelle, we have Bimbo, we have James, we have John, okay, John, and then we have George. Okay, I think we're just gonna make do with these names. So when you're through with that, you could go to the settings and then do some, settings if you like. Okay, enable sounds, enable animations, and all of that. Okay, so come back to your choose list and click on continue. All right, and then you click outside the box. So you have this already. You see the shuffle button. So let's say you want to give a task who's going to sweep, who's going to answer the first question or answer the next question, who's going to clean up the board, who's going to clean the or what's called the windows, who's going to arrange the chairs and tables furniture in the class. So all you just need to do is use the smart board to do that. So I'm clicking on this. It's going to give me a name. Okay, James, you are going to be the one to clean the board before you go on. And let's get the next one. Who's going to be the next person? Bimbo is going to do the arrangement of all the furniture in the classroom. And what's going next? Good, George. Pardon my spelling. George will be the one to arrange the teacher's table. Ethan will be the one to clean the windows or close the windows. And then lastly, study must make sure that all the circuits in the classrooms are put off. So you can use this, to create tags for them. So use that choose names randomly. So for this, well, just want to just skip this. I really have not too much use. Now, another interesting tool I love here is this. It's called the sound level. I'm sure you can hear the sound already. It's called the sound level. So what this basically does is, if the students are working on their class assignment or they're working on class works, so what you need to do is you want to prevent them from making noise. So you want to make sure that there's a certain level of voice or noise you expect in the classroom. So you could increase this, all right, if of course you want them to talk loud to a certain level. Okay, so as the voices go in the classroom, you see that blue indicator will keep moving. Okay, and then of course, if you want the screen to capture the voices in the classroom, you have to put on your mic. If not, you put off the mic, and that's not going to work. But when you put on the mic, okay, that begins to work. Now the bell is to indicate when the voices in the classroom exceeds the level at which you have indicated. Okay, so I'm going to pull that on, and to show you how this works, I'm going to take this down to this level. So if I make a noise louder than that, you see what happens? All right, it rings the bell and shows me a red, which simply means the noise is getting high. So they become conscious of how much they raise their voice. Lyric is this, they become conscious of how much they raise their voices. So if it's this way and they are making too much of a noise higher than the level which you said, of course, when the sound goes up, they become conscious and they try to reduce their voices. Like, let's reduce our voices. Okay, so I like this so much. So when they're, working on their classroom assignments or classroom tasks, you put this on the screen. Like I said, you could reduce this. All right, so this, and then you could definitely just put this on the spotlight. All right, put it on the spotlight, or just take it off the spotlight. Okay, so let's bring back our widget. Let's close this. So the next one, that would be the image. If you want to project an image for them in a classroom, so just go to your setting, and then just click on upload your file. Okay, if you click on upload your file, it's going to take you to your what's called file manager, all right, or anywhere, any part of your laptop where you have fixed in your pictures. Okay, so I want to be using that, so you can use that for instructional materials where there's a picture you want to display while you're teaching and all that. Then apart from that, there's another one very interesting, which is your text. So at this point you could click in or type in the class tags you want to give to them. So let's say I want to create a debate, or you could even put in all the questions you intend to write on the board. So instead of writing on the board, you could all type them here. Remember, it's a smart board, it's a smart screen. So let's say for my class, I want to have a debate. And let's say the question for debate would be colonization of Nigeria, a blessing or a curse. Okay, so I'm going to use I'm going to centralize this. All right, come here, centralize this, and I want to increase the font. I want to increase the font for this, and I want to make it bold. Okay, so that's that. Now we are just about to enjoy another segment of this particular. So okay, let's say I want to reduce this a bit, and then I can drag this way. Okay, drag this way. Now that is your text board. All right, whatever text or whatever note you want to give to them, that is where you're going to be fixing that, and then you can format that with the format box that you have on top of the board itself. So the next one is the draw. Okay, I didn't see I didn't see me using any of these anyway, so let's just go. Now let's look at the work symbols. This is very important and it's very interesting. Okay, now you have four part of this work symbol. The first one here is silence, the next one is whisper, and then you have the X enable, and then here you have the work together. Now one interesting part about this particular tool is that it helps you to manage your classroom. Of course, you know that as a teacher, classroom management is very essential, all right, to quality teaching and learning. And one thing you want to do while you're trying to manage your class is to control the rate at which the student engage themselves in talking or interacting with all the students. So you could control that using this particular widget or particular tool. So the first one here, when you place this on the board, it simply means you are expecting every single person, every single learner or student to what? Keep quiet. So they're not expected to talk. So you need to help them understand this. And when they say the symbol, it simply means you don't expect anyone to talk. If you talk, of course, there will be consequences. Now, let's close this widget. Now, the next one here says the whisper. At this point, of course, you allow them to do talking, but you do not expect to hear them at a very loud rate. Okay, don't forget the first one we use, which is the sound level. Okay, to control the rate of noise. Okay, so for this now, you could use that to control that. And then if you want them to interact in class, of course, you open the floor actionable, you click on the actionable, they can interact with themselves. And this is used for them to work together. So maybe you expect them, you could move from one table to the other to work together because you're giving them a certain task that require them to interact and work together. So this is very important. Okay, very important. So for this colonization, a blessing or a course. Now the debate, this one now is just an argumentative essay. I don't expect them to come out and talk about it. I just expect them to pour their thoughts on the paper. Okay, so what I want to do is to click on this silence. Okay, I do not expect to hear anyone talk. I just want to see them working. Now another interesting part of this particular smart tool is the traffic light. Okay, the traffic light. Now of course we know the traffic light, when you see the traffic light, there's something you must know. Red says stop, yellow means ready, and green means go. So one interesting thing about this, you could customize this. I love this one so much. Okay, now apart from this, you could also enable the description in case they just forget about it. So I have the red one, so I'm going to use stop. I think I've had that before, that's why I have that. I have the yellow, ready. I've imputed all this before, which is why it's showing me a reminder. So I have go. Okay, so this is what I have. When I click out, I have this. So what I want to do is to just match this here. And what this means, what I'm telling them is when they see any of the light, it indicates what they need to do. So here it means stop. I click on that. When they see this, it means ready. That's yellow. And immediately I click on go. It simply means they have to start working on their tasks, or they start doing what they ought to do, whatever assignment you're given to them to do. And of course you need to understand that when you click on this and you see this button, it simply means they need to stop. And when you don't stop, there will be consequences for that action. You could display that, or of course have that as part of your classroom rules and regulation. Okay, so apart from this, you could also make use of the timer, all right, to regulate the time of work. Now here I could place this here. You can see the way I'm organizing my space. Don't forget that you could have more than one. You see, this is my second screen, it's my third. So let's go back to the first. So here I could reduce the time. I just want it to be, let's say, 6 seconds or seven. Okay, let's make it 9 seconds because of. So immediately I click on ready, go. I'm timing them. So I have this reading already. So they're working against the time. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's gonna be a sound. Okay, so that indicates that I have to stop, and you go on and click on stop. Okay, now you could customize this. All right, so here you see the timer sound. For me, I love the gong. I love it so much. I love the gong. I love the gong. You could do ding dong. You could do a cowbell. But for me, I love the gong. Let's go. Okay, so that's me. So you customize that. You could have this, just make it colorful, just like every other one. You could just make it very colorful. Let's do for this one. So that is that about this. And here you have the clock. Okay, you have the clock. If you're going to be using the screen throughout, you just place the clock at a part of your screen so that everyone can see. All right, even you, of course, they help you to, to know exactly if you don't have a wall clock in your class, or you just want our student to have this there. Okay, so don't forget that you could reduce the sizes of each of these, touch each other. Yeah, so that is that about those ones. Okay, so let's close this up, let's close this up, and let's close this up. Yeah, could close this up also. So let's click on more widget here. Let's see other tools we could use. Here you have the calendar. Okay, you have the calendar. You could fix your calendar together with this. If you wanted, you can move it anywhere. And you can use this. This is called the dice. All right, the dice. Let's say you want to play any game in class. Well, depending on you. I can't think of one right now. So if you come to the setting, also you could, of course, customize that. You could have two dice, and when you click on this, it rolls and rolls and rolls. You could, use this, whatever it is you want to do it with. Okay, you could have this also signs, and it's very interesting. You could have this for shapes, color. Sorry, you could have this. Okay, you could have this. All right, so you could enable the sound, you could disable the sound, you could customize the color, whatever to fit into whatever you want. Now another one. This is, yeah, I think to just do it with this. Now I love this so much. This is a very interesting part. Okay, so what this is the group maker. So you want to create a group in a class for them to work in a group, and then you want to split them. So you don't want to go through the stress of thinking, where do I place, where do I place, where do I place. Of course, you could do that manually. All right, looking at the student's strengths and weaknesses, or you could allow the smart screen to do that for you. So all you need to do, if you want the smart screen to do that for you, is to open the settings. All right, and here, just like we did for the random names, you just come here and type each of their names. All right, so let's do that again. We have Tade, we have Tunde, we have Grace, we have Joy, we have John, we have Peter, and we have James, we have Vivian, we have Esley, we have Sonia, we have Femi. Okay, so these are the names that we have. Now you come to the settings, you could increase the number of groups to 5, 4, but I want to use 4. All right, the font size, you could increase that to, let's say, large. All right, you could also customize this, use whatever color you like. And when you're done with that, just make sure you come here, check through your names. And how many names do you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 11. Let's add one more to it. Let's use pour. So that makes it 12. So I click on continue, and I click out of that. So immediately I click on create groups. It gives me a group. It gives me groupings rather. All right. So I have 3 on each group. I have just 12 students or 12 learners in my class, and I want to split them into groups. I have this. Now you could reshuffle. You could shuffle this. If I shuffle, you see it's going to be a shuffling there. You have Sonia, Tade, Vivian. You have John, Paul, Tunde. You have Esley, Femi, Peter. You have Grace, James, and John. You could shuffle again to create the groups. Very, very nice. Okay, you could duplicate. You could show on all screens. If I click on show on all screens, I believe if I go to the second and the third, I should have them there. Okay, so that's it about this. It helps you to, of course, you just put it on the screen so that they will know the groups that are working with. And another portion of this is the stopwatch. Okay, stopwatch. Of course, we know how stopwatch works. If you want to use this for your debate, okay, stopwatch. And yes, another interesting part of this is webcam. The webcam to monitor your students, to monitor your student. Okay, you could customize. All right. Well, for me, I don't think I'll be needing this. So that's all basically about this. And then you have the video. For this video, what you just need to do is to insert. It works with YouTube. Of course, you connected to the internet. Just insert the YouTube link here, and then you could watch. Right? You could watch whether YouTube or even if it's on Facebook. It goes there to extract the video. So that's that about that. Okay, so that's that about classroom screens. Very interesting, yeah. I know. So if you have any question, please let me know.